The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has granted Fast Track designation, the ISB 2001, a first-in-class next-generation trispecific T-cell engager antibody developed by Ichnos Glenmark Innovation, a global biopharmaceutical company. ISB 2001 is being investigated for the treatment of adult patients with relapsed or refractory multiple myeloma who have received at least 3 prior lines of therapy. In this highly competitive multiple myeloma therapeutic space, ISB 2001 has the potential to address a critical unmet need for patients who have exhausted current treatment options. Fast Track designation underscores the therapy's potential to address a critical unmet need in heavily pretreated multiple myeloma populations and reflects regulatory confidence in its innovation potential and early clinical promise. We believe the multiple myeloma space is primed for next-generation biologics given the current standards of care include CAR T-cell therapies such as CARVYKTI by Legend Biotech and Janssen and 𝗚𝗥𝗔𝗡𝗢𝗢𝗢 by Bristol Myers Squibb, as well as bispecific antibodies such as teclistamab and traditional agents like proteasome inhibitors. However, these approaches have limitations such as manufacturing complexity, patient eligibility criteria, and side effects. From a commercial perspective, the multiple myeloma therapeutic area is highly attractive with minimal competition from small molecules and an expanding role for immunotherapies. Key players include Johnson & Johnson, BMS, Amgen, as well as emerging companies like Arcellx and Legend Biotech, which recently received FDA approval for their CAR T therapy. For due diligence, we would focus on preclinical and early-phase clinical data to assess the evidence of durable response, manageable safety signals, and cytokine release profile. Additionally, we would evaluate manufacturability and scalability of the antibody, which is designed to engage to targets on myeloma cells while sparing healthy cells. Furthermore, understanding the company's intellectual property, including patent coverage, freedom to operate, and potential barriers to entry is crucial. We would also assess partnering opportunities as the company advances to late-stage development. And given the Fast Track designation, we would evaluate the pathway to breakthrough therapy designation or accelerated approval. A comprehensive diligence strategy would also assess ISB 2001's probability of technical and regulatory success, expected time to market, and ultimate product differentiation in an increasingly crowded treatment landscape. Understanding how ISB 2001 might be sequenced with other treatments would also be important. From an economic perspective, we would use our proprietary EVER assets framework to assess whether IGI's capital allocations to R&D are expected to generate value above their cost of capital. This is especially relevant as the company advances a potentially first-in-class asset with currently no approved trispecific antibodies in this indication. Given the large and growing market opportunity in multiple myeloma, which is expected to reach $37.5 billion by 2029 at a nearly 10% CAGR, successful development of ISB 2001 could provide significant return on R&D investment. Moreover, EVA assets may strengthen if ISB 2001 reaches commercialization via non-dilutive funding routes or strategic alliances, thereby reducing capital burden while still allowing IGI to capture upside in a highly addressable oncology segment. In conclusion, IGI's advancement of ISB 2001 with FDA Fast Track status positions it as a high-potential player in the immunotherapy market for multiple myeloma. Strategic investors and biopharma partners will closely monitor upcoming clinical readouts, which will determine the therapy's ultimate product differentiation and its fit in the multiple myeloma treatment algorithm.